Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Okay, so today's video is going to be could say part 2, or the high-end side of if I wasn't on YouTube, what would my makeup collection look like. For the high-end side, I was able to reduce it a little bit more. So yeah, I did the drugstore version and I will link that down below, and I will also link Ali's videos down below, Ali Glines, and then Jamie Page is where this year's trend started from. And drugstore was a lot harder for some reason than high-end, and only because I feel like I did buy some high-end stuff before I was even on YouTube, even way back in the day, but because it is a little bit more expensive, I wanted to be a little bit more selective of what I kept on my collection. The only thing I was a little excessive on was lips, because I do like a lot of high-end lips. Yeah, all right, so let's go ahead and get started. So let's start with complexion. I have 5 products, but if you count setting spray, then 6. So for primer, since we're going to go in the order that I put makeup on, I decided to go with the Tatcha, this liquid silk canvas. It's what I have on today, and I think it just encompasses a little bit of everything that I need. I needed to control oil, I needed to blur out pores, and just make my makeup last. And I think that this does a wonderful job of it. It does come out like a liquid, but I feel like once you start putting it on your face and blending it out, it just gets a little thicker, and I think that's what helps with blurring of pores and all of that. So yeah, it is an expensive primer, but I feel like it would last me a long time, so this is what I would purchase, honestly. And honestly, before I was on YouTube, I'm like a Tatcha lover. It's just Tatcha products are very expensive and she bougie. Okay, for my foundation, I have 2. Both of these I can build them up. Well, one more than the other, but I also feel like I can definitely wear them as everyday, very light foundations. Not necessarily BB creams, but close enough to that. And my first pick is from the Smashbox. From Smashbox is the Studio Skin 24-hour hydrating foundation. Honestly, I got this recommended by a makeup artist at Ulta or consultant. I've never looked back, because it is like this is my second bottle because it takes such a long time, and because I have other foundations. But I think if I only had this one, I went through it pretty quickly, like most of it. It was only the last bit where I was struggling to finish it up. But I went through this pretty quickly because this is such a good foundation. You only need like a pump. You can build it up, I wouldn't say to full coverage, but definitely like medium full. And you can also just do like half a pump and just almost like just spread it out, make it look like a BB cream. But it is so beautiful on the skin. I absolutely love it, and it's one of my favorite foundations still. I mean, I bought a backup. My second foundation would be the Bite Changemaker Supercharged Micellar Foundation. Oh, and for this one I'm in the shade 2.2, and this one I'm in the shade M55. The minute I put this on, I got a sample of it first. I fell in love with it, and usually, you know, you'll have to wear it a couple times to really love it, but just the minute I put this on, it was so moussey and creamy, and it just makes your skin look so beautiful. I feel like a lot of people who are dry skin didn't really like this, but I feel like if you're oily or normal oily, you would definitely appreciate this foundation, especially if you like light coverage, light to medium. This is definitely a change maker. And for my concealer, I would only pick one because I've used this concealer for years. This is probably, I have 2 repurchases, and in this shade, this is my first purchase in this shade. It's the BareMinerals Bare Skin Complete Coverage Serum Concealer. I have light and I have medium golden. Medium golden fits like more of a overall if I just want to wear that, which I have done. And then this one's definitely for the under eyes for me. Whew. This concealer, it has been amazing, and it really does last a long time, like just in general for you to use it, because this is all I had for like the longest time. And I absolutely love this. It's a serum concealer, and with that it feels a little bit more hydrating on your under eyes without necessarily looking like oily or greasy, but it's also like really full coverage, not like super like Tarte Shape like all the way to that level, because Tarte Shape is just matte It's not like that, but it does have coverage on it, and it has a lot of coverage on it, and you can always build it up and it won't look too cakey on you. I just love the way that this concealer goes on, and this is why I would only have this one, because I can honestly use it as an everyday, just put a little bit everyday concealer, or you know, build it up a little bit and make it a little bit more glam. So I like that versatility with it, which is why I'd pick it. For powder, this is probably my all-time powder right now, my favorite powder, and it's from Thrive Cosmetics, and this is the translucent matte. Oh, and it's the Filtered Effects Soft Focus HD setting powder. Like, it's there in the name. That's all you need to know. It's right there in the name. Why I love it. It literally looks like you have like just blurred skin. It looks beautiful on you. I forgot that. Okay, so for the setting spray, I would have obviously the Urban Decay setting spray. I think this does everything that I needed to do. Make it long lasting, kind of sink my powders into my skin, make it look beautiful, and this would do it for me. So for cheek products, I do have 6 products. Yeah, 6. But I think it would more than cover my necessities and everything that I would need. So I made sure that I picked carefully. My first product is from Jouer, and it's the bronzer duo. I have the light medium. Yeah, light medium, and I have suntan and sunlight. And the reason that I like this is because you have 2 different shades. So this one can actually go on me as a little bit of a contour, since it's a little bit lighter. For some reason, it works like that on me. And then this one definitely more of a bronzer. They're both matte, but I really do enjoy that because the blushes that I have are a little bit more glowy. So I'm okay with having a matte bronzer. And they also have different shades, duals of these. They have 3 of them, so it kind of covers a little bit of variety of skin tones. I think they should still have more, but I guess because of the duo, it helps that coverage of many skin colors, in it. I don't know, I'm a little jittery today. And then the second bronzer I have is from Milk Makeup, and I absolutely love this. And again, if I wanted to have a no makeup day or just live it up a little bit more glam, I would have this bronzer and then set it with the matte bronzers, the powder matte bronzers. And the reason that I like this one is because, like I said, it's a matte bronzer, but not like a flat matte. Neither one of these are flat mattes, and this one definitely leaves a little bit more sheen to your skin, which is why I would purchase it. And you get so much product, honestly. If I had to repurchase this, I would honestly purchase the mini, because it'll probably go bad before I end up using the whole thing. For blush, I would go with 2 of my favorite formulas, which is the Persona Super Blush and then the Buxom Wanderlust. I have 2 shades in each. Well, the Persona one only has 2 shades, and this one has more, but I only have 2 shades. The reason that I like both of these formulas is because they're not matte, but they have a little bit of sheen. Like I think they claim to be both matte blushes. Well, maybe not the Buxom one, but definitely the Persona. It's like a matte with the sheen. It's like a satin blush, basically a satin blush. And it just makes your skin so glowy and pretty, and oh yes, so beautiful. The 2 shades for Persona are Georgia and Caramel. Ooh. This is probably 2 of my favorite formulas of all time for blushes. They're so beautiful. And then for Buxom, I have Seychelles and Dolly. Now Dolly and Caramel are both mauves, so I'd pick one or the other, but I just wanted to show you these 2 formulas because they're so good. I would definitely have these 2 formulas in my collection. Seychelles definitely would have, just because it is a beautiful nude. Like, it's so beautiful right there. And then Georgia definitely would have also a beautiful peach color. And then this is Caramel next to Georgia, and then Dolly is next to Seychelles. I think they're so beautiful. Let's see if I can get a good swatch there. Look at that, beautiful. So yeah, that's what I would choose for my blushes. I think I would get a great variety from these, and just the formula is what I absolutely love about these blushes. One thing that I would have, I think, just because of strictly YouTube, these are things I think, like, I mean, obviously everything has been influenced by YouTube, but the Smashbox Cali Contour palette, just because it has everything, and for traveling purposes this would cover all my needs. And I wouldn't have a highlighter, like a single highlighter. It's just, I think I wouldn't spend full price on a highlighter, full price, a high-end price for a highlighter. Even now I'm kind of like, ooh, do I really want that, or can I find that in the drugstore, or do I have that in my collection? Do I even need one? Which is why I know that I wouldn't buy a high-end highlighter if I wasn't on YouTube. But I think that this would cover a little bit of everything, because you have contour, a setting powder, 2 highlights, and if I had this in my collection I definitely wouldn't need highlights. This would be more than enough. And then these 2 right here, the 2 blushes. You can use that as a bronzer, but I think you could also use that as a blush. So I think this covers beautifully great amount of things, especially for travel. Just one thing and go. Okay, now let's see, for eyeshadows, I have one single eyeshadow. I know I had more in the drugstore version, and it's just because, especially for like high-end single shadows, I'm not spending that money. I'm just not. There are some exceptions, of course, but I can't justify it. I just cannot, not for a single eyeshadow. So the Stila ones are definitely justifiable to me, to be honest, because I think they're so unique. Like, brands try and do their own versions, of course, but I don't think anyone's going to be able to ever beat the Stila ones. And this one is in Wonderlust. I think it's a Glitter and Glow or Shimmer and Glow. Let me see, hold on. Glitter and Glow. As you can see, that's beautiful right there. It has a combination of peach, pink, and gold flecks in there, and it's just so beautiful. And you can do each color, and each reflection will be different because of the reflex in there. Like, you could do a pink look and the pink's gonna shine out. You could do a gold look and that's what's gonna shine out with a little bit of the other ones. Or you could put peach, and it would just work for so many different colors. And or you can just top something with it and then adds a little extra something special to the colors. And out of all the, I think I have like 4 or 5, the ones that I have, definitely would repurchase this. Definitely would purchase this. And honestly, I feel like it's drying out. It'd probably hold on for me for the rest of the year. But if I see that it's dried out, I would definitely repurchase this. This is definitely very unique in my collection. Now for palettes, I did choose 5, but we're just gonna go over them super quickly. And these are palettes that I've talked about before, and especially on like my keep 10, or if I could only keep 10 palettes, or top 10 palettes, or I'm gonna find those videos and then link them in the cards and in the description also. But let's start off with Persona palettes. Now this one definitely I heard through YouTube, and this is the Identity 1 palette. This is in the old packaging, or the original packaging. And the reason that I would get this is just because you have a perfect combination of neutrals, but the shimmers in here are what blows my mind. Like, they're so beautiful, but they're not overly too, they're so, like, they're intense, but you can like tone them down at the same time. You have a lot of variety to work with in this palette, and I think it just works beautifully. And of course it was made for brown eyes. I have brown eyes, so perfect palette, neutral palette to work with. Okay, so before I was on YouTube, or started getting really into watching YouTube and looking at YouTube, I wasn't really wearing a lot of shadows during the summer. But during the fall is when I would play it up. Fall and winter are my seasons for me, for my makeup. It's where I like to express more of my creativity. So for me, a lot of these palettes are focused more on fall and winter, where I could use those, or just glam it up one day. I just want to give a little caveat there, or a little explanation before I move on to the next palette, which is the Honey palette, the Naked Honey by Urban Decay. And this would fit in perfectly for my collection because I used to have the original Naked, and I kind of miss it, I'm not gonna lie. And Naked 3, I'm actually reconsidering purchasing Naked 3. I really miss those tones in my collection. And I feel like I have them, but there's certain tones in there that I don't have. But anyways, moving on to this, or this is what we're talking about. Again, this is Urban Decay is a brand that I knew about before YouTube or anything like that. And this is a perfect palette for fall, for grungy, beautiful looks. It has these tones of brown right here, but they have that undertone of yellow. And it's honestly one of my favorite palettes in my entire collection. It is so unique. pictures, truly, the campaign pictures, everything that came out when this palette came out to advertise it, to market it, did not do it justice. Until you go in store and you look at it, that's when you know that that is such a unique palette. It is not just a neutral old brown palette. It is a truly unique, beautiful palette, and it's definitely worth your money. Another brand that I really enjoyed is Anastasia, and I wouldn't get the Modern Renaissance. It's not my favorite palette. And the other one that I really enjoy are collabs, so those are, you know, automatically discontinued. So this is honestly, I had to get my purples in here some way, somehow. So I got them in through Norvina. And I think it just has a bit of purple where I could satisfy that purple craving, but I still have a little bit of neutrals, a little bit of pink, because I like a little bit more of a soft pink looks too. And this palette would definitely cover it for me. So definitely love that. And if I needed something lighter for spring or summer, I think that this would be my go-to palette right here. And another one that's a super unique palette is the Francation palette from Desi and Katie and Dose of Colors. Just starting with the packaging, like, come on, that packaging is beautiful. The colors in here are so unique, and I know that you can create so many more combinations with the shimmers, and the mattes are staple mattes that everyone needs in their collection. So even these mattes that I have in here are very different from the mattes that I have in the other palettes that I've chosen, which is why I decided to go with this. But honestly, the shimmers, it's why I keep choosing this palette to stay in my collection over and over again, and I would repurchase this if I ever ran out of it. So definitely beautiful. And the other palette is from Sigma. It's the Enchanted Collection, no, and it's the Enchanted palette. And again, this is definitely, Sigma has some very unique color stories and shades. Like, it has some beautiful mattes. Of course, that black looks untouched because I don't really like black shadows, but these colors, the other mattes are beautiful. I have gone into them over and over again, and it's something that I can combine with the other palettes in here. But the shimmers, for me, again, the shimmers are just what makes or breaks sometimes a palette for me. But let's see, like this one, Metamorphosis, is a Transformer shade. But if you look at Electrum and Budding, they're like glimmer glittery shades that you can also use as a topper, or you can actually use it as your lid shade. And just beautiful. I have touched every single color in here except for that black, because again, but you also have some soft shimmers right here too if you just want a more of a soft, quick and easy everyday look, which is why I think that these palettes would cover a little bit of everything for me. Okay, now for lips. Honestly, some of the most unique, I chose some of the most unique colors that I really enjoyed. Yeah, so I have this from Urban Decay. I just want to give it a mention just because I think, again, Urban Decay is one of those brands that I knew about before I started watching YouTube. I definitely would have some type of lipstick from Urban Decay. The ones that I own are Bad Blood and Blackmail, yeah. I do definitely want to try other ones because this is obviously the old packaging. Probably need to get rid of them at this point. But I probably would have some high-end lipsticks from Urban Decay. I used to have some from ABH, the liquid lipsticks, but that formula is so terrible that I just decluttered them. I don't like them. They were too dry on my lips. But I found some through YouTube that I actually really enjoy, and obviously you guys know, if you've been watching my channel, two of my favorite liquid lipstick formulas are from Dose of Colors and Ofra. So the ones that I chose out for just colors that I think are the most unique that I would keep and probably repurchase are Story, the Samantha March collection, shout out to her, and Las Olas, a recommendation from her. So I think that these are definitely unique and not something that really I've seen in drugstore collections. So I would definitely purchase those and probably be interested in more just because their liquid lipstick formula is so good. The same with Dose of Colors. I haven't even tried their satin regular lipsticks, but their liquid lipstick formula is so good, especially for deeper shades, which is all that I have. Plum Queen, Chocolate Wasted, Mood, Sauvage. If you guys see my declutters, I'll link that playlist down below, see if I can build a playlist with all that. And these are all colors that are vampy and pretty, and again, this is more geared towards fall, but I absolutely love these. And then for lip glosses, these are the two shades that I chose, but honestly, these two formulas, out of all the high-end glosses that I have, these are my favorite. And It's from Persona and Dose of Colors. I think honestly Dose of Colors lip glosses are so underrated. They're so beautiful and like just juicy and just thick in the best way without being gloopy, and they have such a great shade variation, shade range, which I don't understand why people don't hype it up more. But definitely, if you haven't checked out Dose of Colors lip glosses, check them out, or you can also wait for a sale and check them out then if you feel like $17 doesn't justify the price. I've honestly gotten all of them on sale, and why not? Why not take advantage? They have always 40 or 50% off sale, so definitely wait and take advantage. And the shade that I have is on repeat, and then I have Honey from Persona. Persona glosses are also so good. These are my 2 favorite high-end lip gloss formulas, so I definitely want to include those. Okay, I think that pretty much covers it. Yeah, so that pretty much covers it. This was a lot faster than the drugstore one. I know that one was a long video. I tried to keep this one as fast as I could, but again, you know, high-end stuff, I mean, I love the experience, and sometimes there is more high quality products, or it was like that, but now in the recent years, man, drugstore is like stepping it up. So yeah, if you have any suggestions or any products that you think that I should check out that are high-end, let me know down below in the comments. Yeah, and if you haven't subscribed already, I hope you consider subscribing, and don't forget to like this video if you guys did like it. And let's see what else. I think that's it. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and thank you for watching. Bye bye.